watch that game?
Yeah, I was definitely tuned into that game. I believe I had COVID at that point, so I was just kind of locked in watching basketball. But that was a fun night, and I remember that game vividly.
What can you share what you remembered about the triumph of that game for Clay?
Specifically the dunk. I think that's the one that stands out to me, the play in my mind. Um, I mean, for him to come back like that and have that performance and that play was pretty spectacular.
As you get to know Clay and discover who he is as a teammate, have you learned enough about his mental fortitude? Like, what kind of guy is Clay?
Yeah, he's one of the mentally toughest guys I think I've ever been around. And I've been around a lot of mentally tough guys. Um, I mean, not just from like a shot to shot basis, like if I'm missing, I'm going to keep shooting, just like a day to day basis, an injury basis. Like, I mean, he's got all the squares covered with that type of stuff, and just to, find it within himself to keep going.
Steve was just talking about how last game he called a timeout when Wagner went past you, went right and everything, and you knew that he was supposed to go right and everything. Just had that good conversation. How hard is it to, as a rookie, kind of being thrown in the fire lately, know these tendencies that quickly with so many people in the NBA and so many different kind of players as well?
Yeah. I think with our principles, it's first of all I messed up that play, and I should have had it controlled. But with principles and with players, like it's just an adjustment. And I think immediately when Coach Kerr said, like I was already thinking that well before he said it, so it was just a quick conversation that really didn't happen again after that. Um, but it's just a make a mistake, don't make it twice league. And I've learned that kind of the hard way with Wagner 2 nights ago. But had a good conversation about that, and definitely that was a point of emphasis in practice today.
I know, you're such a film junkie as well. Obviously, seeing those kind of things on tape. But is there someone in the locker room or a handful of guys that you were really keen on as far as their defense goes and learning those kind of defensive tendencies and how to improve on that side of the ball?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like the big three with like some of the stuff Clay does, some of the stuff Draymond does, some of the stuff Andre does, and then I mean more recently with kind of the dwindling front court what Kevon Looney does, just in case I have to play some minutes at the five. Um, but I mean we've got a locker room of vets that love being vets and love sharing their information. So anytime you got a question with Draymond or anytime you got a question with Andre, like they're all ears and they'll give you everything they got.
And you've been playing a lot of 3 and 4, a little bit of both. But in practice-wise, have you got any kind of time at the five, and would you feel comfortable there in short spurts?
Yeah, I think I've never been a five at any level in my life, but at the end of the day, I'm 6'10" and 230, 235 at this point. Um, so I mean, when we need it, I feel comfortable doing it. Offensively, I feel very comfortable, and then defensively, I also feel very very comfortable as well.
Since you've gotten some run lately, just what's the feel? What's the feel you get on the floor in terms of just, you're in the league now and you're seeing guys that you probably just saw on TV before and that kind of thing. What's it feel like once you get on the floor? I mean, what are you coming away with when you walk off the floor after a game?
Yeah. I think the first time I stepped on, I was definitely starstruck. I think it was, I mean, even Detroit, like you just saw Cade Cunningham. I had played with him growing up. But it's kind of like the more and more you just get on the court, get your feet wet, like you kind of realize like you're here. You can't look over and see, oh, that's KD and be starstruck. But it's nice to appreciate their games. But I got to know what team I'm playing for and who I'm going against.
Is there a sense that now that you're on the floor a little bit, that this is the league you thought it was, or is it any different than when you imagined before you got out there?
I think the feeling of playing is better than I ever imagined. Um, I mean, I think that just comes with being off the court for so long, and to be able to be at this level and playing is just special. So I think it's everything that people have made it out to be behind the scenes in the locker room. It's awesome. So I really have no complaints about my experience so far.
With respect to your teammates, is there anything now that you've been playing some more minutes that you've picked up in terms of any of their tendencies that you've picked up so far?
Yeah, I think a big one, and I think Draymond talked about it recently, is just kind of the Draymond rules. Like you follow after Draymond defensively. He's gonna make his plays. He's a superstar defender, and he's gonna talk you through it, and he's gonna do stuff off script. So he's got to be ready to, react to what he's doing because I mean he's a step ahead, and he's trying to put you in the best position.
And one other question. In terms of yourself, now that you've gotten some playing time, what have you chosen? Are there any aspects of your game that you've been choosing to focus on that you want to work on to improve?
Finishing.
Does Draymond call it the Draymond rules? Is there a book coming out?
I have no clue. That's just off the top of my head. That's just kind of what I feel like a good name for it would be. Just the Draymond rules, because there's set defense, there's principles, and then there's what Draymond sees and what Draymond needs on that play. And it's just you just gotta be in the best position.
What do you think about how vocal he is on the court, and what do you think is the importance of communication as a five-man unit?
I think it's very important. Defensively, he's trying to win every possession. It's the NBA, they're going to score. There's talented scorers, they're going to score, but it's just little things to take away 2 seconds here, 3 seconds here, throw them out of their play that he's really big on, and he stresses to us. So he's just outside of the court, on the court, like defense is just what he thinks about.
How comfortable are you with your handle? And I'm asking because, like the last game specifically, but there's been games where the team gets into this sort of a tendency where everything becomes a three-pointer and nobody's going to the bucket. How comfortable are you maybe taking that dive in toward the bucket and trying to get something that way?
Yeah, I think, I'm getting more comfortable with that. Throughout my whole life, I've been a ball handler. I've been a guy that's been able to create. So there's still a little bit of that still has to come out right now. But I think 3-point happy is kind of what we call it. Is just kind of something we're working on right now, and I do feel comfortable doing that, but also still kind of staying within the offense.